Hi guys, right, today we are continuing with our matric exam memo, and we are doing the past paper from 2019, and we're doing question 2.2, which is a geometric sequence question. If you're not familiar with geometric sequences, please check out some of my other videos where I go through the basics. But let's go through the question here. So we've got a geometric sequence, 5/8 plus 5/16 plus 5/32 plus ... equals k. And they want to know k if the series has 21 terms. So basically what they're saying is k, we can see, is the sum, because we add them all up, we get to the sum. So we are looking at the sum formula. So the sum formula, if we go to the back, when we look at the back and we see those formulas, remember that with geometric sequence, we have a common ratio. So we're looking for the sequence sum which has an r in. So when we go to the back, we'll find this one. It's r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. Okay, this is the sum. Right, so the first thing we need to do is find r, because we know that a is equal to 5/8. That's this one here. And so r is equal to, so let's know that r is equal to, I'm going to put r here. And let's get, just so that we can have these as notes later. So a 5/8. So r is equal to t2 over t1, which is equal to t2 is 5/16 and t1 is 5/18. So we see that the 5's cancel, and this is a 5/8, 5/16, this is an 8 here, sorry. And the 16 and the 8 cancels, so we have a 2 here. So we have a half over 1, which is a half. There's lots of ways of you doing this. You could just put it in your calculator. So I'm just going to get that light quickly. I think that's better, yeah. So you've got r is equal to a half. So now we can just substitute that into the formula. So they want the first 21 terms. So it's S21 equals A, which is 5/8. And then we've got R, which is now we know is a half. Okay. Okay, and we just put that into our calculator. 5/8. 5/8, 1/2 to the 21 minus 1, half minus 1. So we've got that in our calculator. Okay, equals 1,24. Oh, let me just make a note here. This 21 here, we put n as 21 over here. We just have to. And we get 1,25. Okay, so that was question 2.1. So that's the answer there. Now, 2.2.2 says, determine the largest value of n for which Tn is greater than 5 over 192. Well, remember the formula for Tn. So let's just get some of these formulas down, and I'm going to do them in an orange. So this is a formula that you get given, and that's for Sn. And Tn is equal to AR to the n minus 1. Okay, so we can simply, if we say Tn is greater than 5 over 192, let's just substitute this n for Tn. So we'll say 5 over 8, because that's A. R we know is a half. N is the thing we need to solve for, and 5 over 8192. Okay, so let's just simplify this. So what we'll do is we need to get n. Okay, so let's get rid of this, because then we have a half n to the minus 1, which we can do something with. So we'll just times both sides by 8 over 5, because then these will cancel to 1. So times 8 over 5. Okay. So we have 5. So we basically have 40. On the top. 5s cancel, don't they? Of course they do. And then you get 1 over 1024 equals a half to the n minus 1. Okay, there's a couple of ways we could turn. We could just get this number to be a half as well. So let's do that. We'll get them both to the base of a half. So it's a half to the n minus 1 is greater than, and 1 over 24, as far as I remember, is 2 to the power of 10. Okay, so if you're not sure about 10 to 24, all you need to do is put 1024 into your calculator and say equals, and you say shift, and you use that factor button there, the fact button. That button there, you can't really see it, but it's just look for the fact button on your calculator, and there do you see that it tells you that that's 2 to the 10. It tells you all the factors. I'll do a video on that maybe if someone wants to. So just put it in the comments section, or message me if you didn't understand that. So n minus 1, then we've got to now look. So n minus 1 and 10 is the critical value. Will give us the critical value. So, but let's just look at this. A half to the n minus 1. Okay, so what happens when you do a half to, say, 2? You get a quarter. A half to the 3, you get an eighth. And so as n gets bigger, the number gets smaller. So when you look at this value, n minus 1, it's getting smaller as n gets bigger. So actually, as n gets bigger, it's not this. Because this would assume that the number would be bigger as n gets bigger, but actually it needs to go in the other direction. So just be careful of that. So we just say n is less than 11. Okay, and what we can do is we can do a quick test. So let's put in a value for n. So I'm going to put in 11 for n. So a half to the 11 minus 1 is going to be a half to the 10. And so that would be equal. So then let's get a number bigger than 11. Or should I say less than 11 to see if this is true, to see if we got the right answer. Because we are saying that n is less than 11. So let's make it 10. Okay. And we get 1 over 512, which is bigger than 1 over 1024. So we know that this is correct. Okay, so that is question 2.2. Next lesson, we will be doing question 3, unless there's a 2.3.